Hi, yeah, my name's Scott Connell, and I do creative writing and drama at Edge Hill. Well, I've got dyscalculia, which is basically like, to put it simply, it's basically like a maths learning disability, kind of like maths dyslexia, you know. It's kind of it's a very confusing, like, hard thing to try and explain to people, because people know what dyslexia is, but they've never really heard of dyscalculia. I basically, what it entails is, like, I've got no sense of time. So like, I can read like digital clocks and stuff like that, but I can't actually. I have like no sense of time, like it, like itself. And then going on from that, I struggle with, like, the basic, like the basic math concept, like adding up, subtracting, that sort of thing. So that's kind of really like that bit there, for like trying to sum it all up, is kind of like more of a generalization in terms of what I struggle with maths, because just, yeah, it makes my brain like hurt and everything. Like when I'm trying to do maths, like when I spend ages doing calculations and different things like that, I get like really tired, and it's because my brain gets overwhelmed with the different, with the numbers that I've got to process, if that makes sense. When I was younger, it's like, I used to get maths homeworks, for example, were a complete nightmare, because I'd spend like ages doing them. I'd spend like hours and hours and hours, and I'd be trying so hard. I'd be like, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be great, and I'm gonna get help from my parents. It's gonna be amazing. And then every time it would basically end up in a huge shouting match. So they'd be saying things like, oh, you can't, why can't you do this? It's just, 8 plus 9 or something. Why are you struggling? Because dyscalculia is like a coward. It's like a coward, it hides itself. So I was good at most of the other subjects in school, like English and history and that sort of thing. But then when it came to maths, people were like, well, why are you struggling in maths, but you're not struggling in any of the other subjects? It kind of made no sense. And I used to have like loads of shouting matches with my parents, and it took like an emotional toll, because with every homework you'd always know that there would be like a big argument.
Kira, second year creative writing student. So basically I'm light sensitive. I've got several actual diagnosed conditions, but it sums up into the light sensitivity. So it's solar urticaria and polymorphic light eruption syndrome are the two main ones. There's also, I have to protect my eyes from UV, because if UV gets in my eyes, then it damages my organs, and we don't know how much or like how many of the organs it can damage. What made me want to start it is that when I was younger, I used to have a support group. We'd only meet once a year, but it was still there, and it was amazing to know all year that there are people, even if they're not around me, they get it. And what's really important to me is that sense of belonging. So I thought that, okay, maybe we're going to get people with all kinds of different conditions. We're going to get things that, like, I've never heard of. But there will be common experiences. There will be common things, social sides, emotions. I wanted people to have that space where they could be themselves, find that sense of belonging, and find a place where people just understood some of it, instead of always getting the reaction from everybody of like, that's not a real thing, or just them not understanding it. I wanted a place where they didn't have to face that. It's hard to say, because my condition it's always been something that evolved and changed. So when I was really little, I only had one condition, it moved up to 2. Other symptoms started going away and new ones would appear. So it's really, really difficult to say where I'm going to wind up condition-wise and how that's going to hold me back 10 years from now. I might have no symptoms, I might have them all back. There's no way of knowing. But I want to go into writing. So even if I have to spend all day, every day inside, I can still do that. I can still sit and write and get the emotion in and get what I want to say out there into the world.